Okay, so thanks for coming in, Sharon. So can you tell us a little bit of information about your injury, when it happened, what happened, and and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so in January last year, I was simply exiting off an aeroplane, shuffling along the seats, and felt something deep inside my knee snap, and then found out subsequently it was my ACL that was torn.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, simple but fairly serious, I think, injury.
Yeah, absolutely. And very common.
Common.
Something we see a lot of, unfortunately.
In sports, people.
You're a sports person.
Not especially getting off a plane.
And after that point, what was your first steps? What did you do about that?
Well, the first, because I didn't know what I'd done, the first steps I did myself was sort of the usual icing and resting. But then I was fortunate to get a doctor's appointment the following day, who then put me forward for an MRI scan.
Okay.
And I managed to get an MRI scan the following week, which was really, really good to find out exactly what I'd done. And within 4 or 5 days, found out that it was the ACL and another tendon or ligament, which I can't remember the name of now, but there was 2. Yeah. Okay.
And then did you speak to a surgeon after that?
So yeah, then they referred me to the surgeon, knee surgeon, to talk about replacement he spoke to me then when I got there about physio or surgery.
Okay.
I thought I would have to have surgery to continue dancing.
Yeah.
But he said, let's try some physio first.
Okay. Which is a great thing.
More than happy to, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the times we see people who have seen surgeons who naturally will suggest surgery, and with something like an ACL you can go down both avenues.
Yes.
Did he give you the option, or was it a decision he kind of pushed you into going conservative?
Well, yes, he pretty much suggested trying physio first, and then said come back in 6 weeks. I think I went back in 12 weeks in the end, but yeah, I went along with his suggestion because he's the professional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And had you ever had physiotherapy before?
Not on my knee. I had physio on a lower back issue, but sort of years ago. I hadn't had any recent physio. No. Okay. No.
What was your opinion? What did you think when he suggested physiotherapy rather than surgery? What was your initial reaction?
Because it was my knee, and knees I've always felt quite complex and sensitive for me. I was nervous because I thought it was going to be lots of manipulation and probably quite painful. I was expecting it to be more painful than it was, certainly. Okay. And I just didn't know what to expect, really, what anyone could do for the knee, particularly because it's quite a specialised joint, really. So, I didn't really know what to expect.
Okay. In that interim, while you'd seen the surgeon, what were you missing out on, or what did you feel? What kind of thoughts were going through your head? You know, before you'd started the process with physio, you'd seen the surgeon, you'd had that information. What kind of things were going through your mind at that point in terms of, you know, the injury, but its impact on you, I suppose?
Yeah, I had very limited use of my knee, and I've since found out that could be partly psychological rather than physical, but certainly I wasn't able to walk up and down stairs properly. I didn't feel like I was walking properly. I certainly couldn't dance, which is my big thing. Yeah. So yeah, it restricted my movement and my activity and my life, really. Yeah. Temporarily, but stopped me doing most things. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to the first time you came in to see us after I don't think it was me you saw at the time. I think it might have been Matt, wasn't it? Yeah. I think you've seen a few of our physios at Move4. But how did you feel going into that session and versus how you felt coming out of that initial assessment? Yeah, so so going in, I was nervous, but Matt very quickly got me to do some movement and some exercises that I would never have tried myself at home. So he pretty much got me walking better and more confidently straight away, explained in detail what I'd done and why I felt I couldn't do the things that I couldn't do, and why and how he was going to help me to believe that I could do. Because some of it was physical, but then some of it was my connection to my head stopping me from doing things. So very quickly I realised that I could do a bit more than I thought I could.
I was going to say, did you believe him when he said you can do more than you are able to, you are currently doing? Did you believe him?
I did believe him.
Did you? Good.
Yeah, I did, because he's the professional, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, I did, but I was surprised, and pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Because he knew so much, and I didn't realise how common what I'd done. I didn't realise how common it was.
Yeah.
And so then straight away I just knew that he'd be able to sort it out for me.
Yeah, good. And then you went back to see the surgeon after that.
Yes.
And he was happy, I remember,
After
wasn't
12 weeks, yeah. So I was given lots of exercises to do, which I did. And then went back to the surgeon and he said continue with the physio.
Did you think when you were going back to him that you were going to end up with surgery?
Not as much as the first time I went. The first time I went to see him, I thought that was going to be my only option.
Right.
But when I went back after 12 weeks of physio, I kind of knew, and all you guys had said to me, that you'd be able to do something to get me back on the road, possibly without surgery.
Yeah.
So then that gave me hope and a bit of determination to not have the surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you find those, 4 or 5 months, I suppose, while we were working together? How did you find that period of time in terms of your experience with physiotherapy and your knee, and how was that time for you?
It was far more positive, and far more enjoyable than I was expecting it to be. The whole injury has been a shock for me, because I managed to get to in my 50s without injuring myself. So initially it was a big shock, but only a matter of weeks after coming and having physio, and I was having physio every week, then I realised that I could sort this out with the help of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys could sort it out.
Well, this is it. I think a lot of people come to us and think we are the ones that are going to fix you. And quite often that's not the case.
Which you do. You do.
We, hopefully our aim is to empower you and give you some tools so that you're able to fix yourself.
Yeah.
And I think one of the amazing things with you, Sharon, as well, is that you started off as an injury, and quite a significant injury, and it's progressed beyond that to actually making quite significant lifestyle change as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So tell us about that and how your mindset shift over the time and where it's gone to now.
Yeah. So once I'd got the knee strong, so after a few months I danced again, which was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I did think for quite a few months I wouldn't be able to dance again.
You went back to Blackpool, didn't you?
I went to Blackpool and danced at Blackpool, yeah. To start with, I didn't think I'd be able to walk properly again. So to dance was huge for me. So after that, once I'd got it strong and you guys had said, really, there's not much that you won't be able to do on that knee now.
Yeah.
I thought, right, I need to strengthen myself as much as I can. And one of your female physios also said, you need to start weightlifting and just lifting some weights.
Heavy stuff.
And looking after heavy stuff, and looking after yourself. So I've been doing some strengthening and conditioning one-to-one sessions.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Brill.
Which is not something I've done before.
Yeah, and also a bit of Pilates now as well.
I'm doing some reform Pilates.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
If you, now you've had this experience with your injury and physiotherapy, if a friend of yours or a family member had an injury, similar type of injury, doesn't have to be the same, but what would you tell them if they've never been to see a physio before? What would your advice be, or what would you tell them about what they should do?
Yeah, well, I would absolutely recommend them to come to a physio, obviously, and specifically here, because all of you guys know a lot of things. So, yeah, I would say to people not to be afraid, and that it's only going to be a good thing.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, especially if it's a choice between physio or surgery.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And we see so many people that are recommended surgery, but in our opinion, probably don't necessarily need it. I think some people psychologically, they feel they need the surgery to solve the problem.
Yes.
But actually, if we've got the opportunity to work with them for a period of time and build their confidence to get it, because they almost put a ceiling on it where they feel they could get to without surgery.
Yes.
Once we're able to build that confidence, you've experienced where you feel you can actually get to with that. So yeah, we just need the opportunity to work with people, I suppose.
And certainly most of my friends said, well, you'll just have the surgery then, won't you, if you have a choice?
Yeah.
And I said, no, not if my physios say that I don't need to, not if I can work with them first. So
that's great.
Yeah.
What would you say to anyone who's watching this video that's perhaps sceptical about physiotherapy and maybe their experience of it? What would you tell them?
I'd tell them to find a physiotherapy company that you can be comfortable with and confident, which I did. My surgeon referred me to Move4, and I'm confident and comfortable coming here, which was a big thing for me, because I wasn't a confident person with an injury. For physio, so
confidence person on the dance floor, maybe.
Yes, without injury. Yeah.
Okay. What was the one thing you wanted to achieve by working with the physios at Move4, and did you achieve it, I suppose?
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to do was dance again.
Yeah.
So, most people I always thought most people come to physiotherapy that were who I call proper sports people, and I've never been a proper sports person. I've only been a dancer. But all I wanted to do was to be able to dance again.
Yeah.
Because I thought I wouldn't be able to dance again, and I've done that. So.
And your high heels.
In my high heels. Yeah. Yes.
Great. Perfect. That's it.
Enough.
Yeah, that's great. Really good.